How many of you, dead serious, wrote down a goal that is higher than anything you've ever achieved prior to now? How many of you wrote down a real stretch goal? You know what? I believe. Oh, come on. Yeah, let it out. I believe you're going to hit that goal. You know how I know that? I know you're going to hit the goal. You know how many of you I've seen over the years? When you start out, I remember Bob Daniel. I remember the first time he was sitting in a room. He made $12,000 the previous year. And he walked out here, and the next year he did something like almost a six-figure income. I've seen hundreds of people sit here today, and they write down that number, only to find out that by the end of the year, wow, they hit it. And that's what it's all about for me. If you don't hit your goal, I've wasted my time. Just think this way. We're only here for one reason, and that you hit that goal. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? I mean, say it. Do you believe? Yes. All right, yeah. Mm-hmm. So what do I know? What do I know in all these years, actually 38 years of being involved in this real estate business, by the way, with a passion? What do I know? I know, and I'd like you to write this down, activity equals results. Write that down. I want you to just go through the pen, up the arm, and sink into that subconscious. Activity equals results. You wrote down your goal. It won't do you any good if you don't put out the what? Activity. Jot this down. I also know this, that you get by giving. Now, we know this. We also know that what you do depends on what you get. What you do every single day. You know, the funny thing about this business, I mean, honestly, you can be one of the worst salesperson in your state, and the law of average will take care of you. I'm going to say that one more time. You can be one of the worst salespeople in your state. The law of average is going to take care of you. You're safe. Some of you might have to go on 28 appointments a week to get a listing. I'm joking. But the law of average says, and that's one of the biggest things that I remember. I don't know if I've ever said this on tape, but I remember H.B., Hitler's brother, my old boss, one time said to me, I said, I want to be the top producer on our board. We had 3,300 members. I said, I want to be the top. He took out his pen, he wrote it down. Okay, Floyd, 5 appointments a week. Go on 5 listing appointments a week and you'll be the top. 5 a week, you'll be the top. And like a dummy, I believed everything he said, but the truth of the matter is, I didn't make the top. I was number 2. But I was the top listing guy. The second top producer. Why? Because I'm the smartest guy? Because I'm the best? Not at all. Because I went on what? Come on. 5 appointments. Somewhere what you wrote down there, somehow it boils down to activity. Bottom line. As a matter of fact, I have a saying. Just jot this down real quick. It's what you do when you don't have to determine what you're going to be when you can no longer help it. Let me know when you've got that written down. It's what you do when you don't have to that determines what you're going to be when you can no longer help it. See, I've never been an educated man, so I come up with these stupid little sayings, but I'm going to say it a few more times. You know, success is an option. Failure is an option. I usually have a lot of empathy for agents that don't produce. But I have very little sympathy for agents that don't produce. Because I believe whether we produce or don't produce, whether we succeed or don't succeed, I believe it's all a matter of, it's up to us. It's what you do. For example, you know, here's things I'm hearing every day. Well, you know, the no-call list, we can't call anybody. Nobody ever said you can't call anybody. All the FSBOs sell their own house. That's ludicrous. Can't get full commissions. That's silly. Go out and do it. You see, you don't have to, but it's what you do when you don't have to that's going to determine what you're going to be when you can no longer help it. That's what I love about the free enterprise system. We don't have to go out, make the calls. We don't have to knock on the doors. We don't have to send the things out. We don't have to make the contacts. We don't have to go on the appointments, but it is what we... How many of you ever smoked? Cigarettes. Yeah. Boy, most of my life, like a chimney. Finally let it go. I don't think you're interested, but I'll tell you how I did it. Is I went to a drug rehab center. And I learned that it was an addiction. I always thought it was a bad habit. And when you think it's a bad habit, you know what you do? You say, boy, here I am so successful, I can't even break a habit, so you smoke some more. It's like this vicious circle. But anyhow, I went to a drug rehab center in Minnesota to quit smoking, and I gave it up years ago. But here's the real bottom line. I remember when I didn't have to smoke. I was out there on the corner with the guys. We always loved it when it was winter because we could pretend we're inhaling. And we'd sit there and we'd one after another. You didn't have to. You'd take a drag it. But you hung in there if you wanted to be cool. You know that, Ivan, okay? Then after a while you held it like this, and you didn't have to. But see, it's what you do when you don't have to that's going to determine what you're going to be when you can no longer help it. Here's a question. Are you a success addict? Or are you a failure addict? What's your answer? Give it to me. With passion. Yeah.